am thrilled to be here with you today to share with you the future of the office and the emerging trends on hybrid work and connected experience. Just before we begin, a little bit about myself. My name is Tim Martin from Gensler. I'm the Managing Director of Gensler here in the Middle East. Design to me is a transformative process, and I believe in an insights-driven approach to amplify experiences and transforming places for humans to live, work, and play. And just a little bit about Gensler. We're an award-winning global architectural design firm and planning firm with offices in over 50 locations and more than 6,000 professionals networked across the globe. We have 26 practice areas within work, lifestyle, and community sector, and we also have 16 years of data informing intelligent design solutions. Some of you may have heard of our annual design forecast, where we predict the trends across our different practice areas. We use a human-centered approach, which helps to understand the relationship between people and places to deliver better design, experience, and operations. Let's jump back to the topic of the discussion for the day, the future of the office and the emerging trends on hybrid work and connected experience. Work and the workplace are forever altered. What we know today is that work and workplace are going to be different. This period of remote working has pushed boundaries of technology, team dynamics, office operations, and policy, and we expect some of those are actually here to stay. As we look at the last several months, we see ways that we've been challenged in some cases, lost something we valued, and there are many things that we've gained throughout all of this disruption. From commuting to wellness to organizational culture, our goal is to understand what are those things we've gained and those we want to keep, and what are those we've lost that we really want to bring back. So we asked, how and where do workers want to be in a post-pandemic future? Just a little bit on the Gensler Research Institute. Basically, it's a network of researchers with a singular focus on developing a deeper understanding of the connection between design, business, and the human experience. Through a combination of research grants and external partnerships, we seek insights that solve the world's most pressing challenges. And the reality is the global workplace has already begun changing before the COVID world. One finding that has been highly stable over time across multiple countries is that most office workers don't want to make a binary choice between the office or home. Instead, what we saw was a greater push towards a hybrid work model of both in-office and remote locations. And as we look to the future, 52% of people are saying they have a desire to work in this environment of 2 to 3 days in the office or 2 to 3 days at home. In addition to that, all respondents we surveyed reported that the office is still the best place to connect, collaborate, and socialize with others. What we see is that most jobs continue to be reliant on in-person collaboration and physical workplace. The office really does excel at supporting collaboration, awareness, and problem solving. Things like collaborating with others, staying up to date with what others are working on, or ensuring all team members are heard, all is easy to do at the office. So how might we rethink the physical workplace for a post-COVID world? The real new hot commodity when it comes to work is flexible policy. From adaptive schedules to remote work, this goes beyond design. Uncertainty and upheaval have placed a premium for employees on systems that empower them with choice and autonomy and support them to pursue their own balance. But this new era also poses some challenges. So the future workplace will need to address an even wider range of work styles and bring people, place, and technology together. To start, we wanted to think about how the role of the office might actually change. And a bit of a spoiler alert, one simple statement is that the one size does not fit all. Another consistent finding we've discovered in our research across multiple countries is that the office continues to play an important social role in people's lives. The pandemic has forced us apart and isolation has become an unhealthy reality for many. The office serves as an important place for human connection. Many respondents to our global workplace survey say the workplace is where they form most of their new friendships. Yet, despite all the benefits that working remotely has brought us, studies show that many of us miss the office. We miss those in-person connections. We miss the buzz. We miss the spontaneity. And we really miss those water cooler moments. We miss those all-hands meetings that help reinforce our culture. And really, don't forget, we miss the free snacks. So what this is leading to is a great opportunity to unfold a new era of experimentation. Understanding the kind of activities that are better done in the workplace. For example, nurturing human connections, building social capital, ideation and innovation, and also mentoring and learning. This can help us create a new kit of parts that dynamically support the hybrid working model. The most successful workplace strategies embolden employees with the ability to choose what works best for them. Most workers are in their current work scenario because of a company or a governmental policy. But for those with the ability to choose where to work, respondents who are currently opting to return to the office are doing so because it's where they are most productive. Those working mostly or full-time at home do so out of concern for COVID-19 and other convenience factors. This suggests a work-life balance, work-life benefits associated with home-based working. Shifting your office from a seat-driven to team-driven demands more flexibility and focus on well-being. We're talking about three things here: designing multi-purpose spaces, meeting equity, and formulating new guidelines for the team. The new hybrid model can help drive your company culture, or in fact, even reinvent it to respond to new global needs. Once more, this is a great opportunity to rethink how we all work. Developing new policies and guidelines can be as flexible and adaptive as we need, and yet anchored to your company's culture. People have a lot of questions about new work models. What's the rule? What's just known? What's just accepted? Following pilot efforts, we recommend what we call an MVP approach, the minimum viable policy needed to provide both clarity and flexibility. Or to keep it simple, keep it simple. So let's take a deeper look at this hybrid system. Technology is constantly evolving, and so are business needs. The digitally enabled workplace is engineered to keep pace, looking at the tools for new work models. What we need now are simple, off-the-shelf enhancements requiring minimal effort to adopt, such as smart health technology, density tracking, and dynamic communications. What we see in the near future are tools such as touchless experiences, a digital concierge, which is becoming more apparent, enhanced health and security, and connected building technologies that support these advanced experiences. In the future, we are looking at a complete digital transformation that revolutionizes experience and operations using tools such as adaptable conference rooms and living labs, mobility services, and predicting applications. Compiling this toolkit can be an evolving process that takes into account your business needs, as well as the inevitable changes in technology that occur with rapid innovation. The goal is a set of experience and technology solutions that serve your purpose, that are easy to operate and understand, and not just a fixed list of devices or applications. The connective tissue of the workplace ecosystem is a digital toolkit of interlinked devices and applications that are easily leveraged by individual employees and teams. Experiential digital is key to a workplace with heart. Equity and engagement depend on it. A series of touchpoints needs to share data and settings to create a frictionless transition between home, office, and back again. We also need to rethink connections in newly digital-enabled ways. The goal is to create an ecosystem that brings people, place, technology together to give employees choice, flexibility, and autonomy, while keeping your organization connected and your culture thriving. And as we come back to these more hybrid work models, we see that the time away or outside of the office having a prioritized focus on heads down work with virtual collaboration, with the time spent in the office heavily prioritized with in-person collaboration, and of course, those water cooler moments. So, how can we create a workplace that feels active and alive, that is productive and enhances your culture? There is a large spectrum of roles for the new workplace, from slightly modified versions of a traditional workplace to a progressive workplace that boosts innovation, to a completely reimagined workplace that is the workplace of the future. We have identified 7 key moments in reimagining the workplace. The well-being of your employees isn't just a program or an HR checklist. It's a business strategy aimed at increasing employee productivity, enhancing their engagement, and improving overall health and happiness within the workplace. And like any good business strategy, it's ongoing, targeted, evolving. Rework Spaces fixes what didn't work in a traditional workplace with a renewed focus on this health and well-being. This space provides both individual and group work settings. The responsive space is a big part of the future office. This will be agile and customizable to fit different individual and team needs. Check the digital team dashboard to see who's on site and who is working remotely. Break out, move walls, and fully personalize your space for your team. The responsive space is tech-forward collaborative office that provides choice of work modes and can quickly adapt to daily needs and changing of the office. The convening space moves from a traditional to progressive spectrum of role for the workplace by offering a concierge that provides a variety of spaces for group collaboration that can't necessarily be done at home or with clients. There is no denying we're all experiencing screen and meeting fatigue. In the future workplace, meetings just got a whole lot more enjoyable and equitable thanks to mixed reality conferencing. You can and you will be able to reserve and join meetings via your virtual assistant. Opt to attend in person, be a virtual avatar, but always enjoy this 360-degree immersive experience that will enable you to seamlessly collaborate and connect. The Innovation Accelerator is just as the name suggests. Progressive, tech-savvy, forward-thinking, collaborative environments where labs, makers, and immersive spaces are celebrated. Whether you're working in the office or at home, reserve a physical or digital wellness session via your virtual assistant. Depending on your needs for that particular day, you can find a calm space, creative or energy in a tech-free zone, or maybe in an immersive AR or VR pod. The new hybrid workplace will have designated spaces for you to learn, grow, and network with your local community. Step into a flexible pop-up space where you can attend forums, events, happy hours, and more. The learning space is just like the Innovation Accelerator, but focused on collaborative and amenity-rich concierge spaces. And prioritizing health and well-being is here to stay. Views to nature heal. They soothe, restore, and energize, whilst reducing stress and preparing us for new tasks. Transforming into the reimagined workplace, the outdoor space uses and repurposes often underused or underutilized. We are finding, particularly in our climate here in the Middle East, how do we use these outdoor spaces for more months of the year? How do we treat those spaces so that we can embrace them? We're also looking at the flip of how we actually treat some of the inside spaces so they appear to be outside to give you that same sense of tranquility that we really can use 12 months of the year. And the community space. By creating inclusive, collaborative, and diverse environments, organizations can harness human potential by sparking new thinking. The community space is reimagined a convening place to connect, learn, and come together with colleagues, customers, academia, and the industry. And then, of course, we had to explore what are the spaces that support this hybrid working? What do they look like? What are these experiences? And as we start to look at this with our clients early in the planning and the conversation stage, it really evolves around neighborhoods, team workflows, and having a greater variety, scales, and types of collaborative spaces. This really helps support that dynamic approach. No more are there large expanses of desks with the odd meeting table or odd chair dotted around. We are now looking at immersed team spaces within their neighborhoods. And this plan actually pushes that even further with even less workstations, but much more and much larger collaborative, flexible teaming spaces. This is the key to success in understanding how teams will work, moving from a desk-based to a collaborative approach, and encourage that in the working in the future. Central work cafes have been a design program element for some time now, but we're expecting an enhanced need for how it actually incorporates technology at different scales. To include and engage co-workers in a one-on-one context or in an event context, casual encounters still happen in the kitchen. It really is the kitchens where we gather to converse and connect. Step into our tech-enabled kitchen where you can hang out with co-workers, grab that coffee, have a virtual chat or an in-person chat with people working at home or next to you. This is making you feel like you're part of this healthy and sustainable community. Celebrations and shared social events will be a source of renewal, and their value and variety can increase with the help of mixed reality elements that not only beam in our teammates, but augment that experience with games, activities, and personalized ambience. It will feel like we're all back together again, finally and seamlessly. Our workspaces will be agile. Team offices are supported at a lot of different settings, large meeting, virtual engagement, and quiet focus moments, all in one adaptable space. When we consider execution of work in a workplace with heart, our people retain the power of crossing paths, allowing that innovation to thrive even when employees are apart. Dashboards provide a real tether to the whole team. And the Agile Office also offers distributed spaces to meet virtually, focus area desks to boost productivity. Flexibility in the floor plan is an essential feature, keeping the space responsive to evolving needs throughout the day and throughout the business cycles, while tech-enabled breakout stations allow for impromptu collaboration sessions with small groups of colleagues in multiple places. The new corner office is mixed reality spaces. Those that support large-scale meetings with digital whiteboards and a mix of screens and analog collaboration tools. Meeting, like the rest of work, is an experience that changes day to day, meeting to meeting. The new corner office leverages mixed reality and enhanced facilitation support to revolutionize collaboration and optimize the time that teams spend in concentrated meetings. The aim is really to revolutionize meetings and ditch screen fatigue with a flexible mixed reality conference system, creating an equitable experience that brings remote and on-site team members together for seamless collaboration. Also critical is the ability to turn the room around quickly, so it can go from a meeting to a co-working session or something else entirely. Technical settings and meeting sessions can be stored, shared, and importantly, called back up again. The features of the room allow it to evolve over time alongside the work. Mixed reality has been a big part of this conversation. There are a lot of different technologies and tools people are talking about. Everything from virtual reality meetings with HoloLens or holograms, in-person or virtual participants. And we'll see how these technologies continue to evolve and get adopted into our workplaces. But things like virtual team dashboard address an important need, knowing where people are on a given day so that collaboration is free, easy, and spontaneous. What is key also to prioritize is a well-being. Introducing these outdoor style spaces, biophilia, well-being rooms, and multi-purpose collaboration settings are just a few things to consider. The office is not just a place to work, it is actually part of our lifestyle choice. So how could this all work? Firstly, we need to think beyond physical real estate as a starting point. The discovery process touches on a wide range of considerations. This is cultural, this is technology, and this is really about the experience. The hybrid and connected workplace needs an ecosystem that is aligned around common purpose in the face of complexity. There are 4 key elements to this ecosystem: the policy and operations, technology and tools, culture and behavior, and the place and service team. Traditional workplace planning is based on capacity and tends to maximize the number of workstations for individual focused work. Collaborative workspaces, community amenities, and other support areas are detached from the number of desks. If we refocus our workplaces to create experience-centric environments, we also need to change how we think of the workplace and see it instead as a crucial part of an holistic support system for a distributed workforce. Rather than calculating space based on the number of desks, since the desk is no longer the driving factor for the whole program, we need a different, more granular approach to office planning. The distributed workforce is not just a space saver. It's a way to ensure that everyone can work the way that is best for them and encourage flexibility. It's a way of empowerment and cultivating a culture of trust. It requires a cultural shift. And of course, in order to work effectively, and there are a few things that we should be considered before implementing a distributed workforce program. Looking at business, distributed workforce increases continuity of operations, but it does require a shift in managerial styles. But it still can potentially decrease or make real estate costs more effective. And it's not about downsizing, but rather it's about right-sizing the workplace to meet the new needs and new personas as an increasingly community-centric hub of connectivity. To enter a hybrid reality, our approach towards adapting the workplace should not focus on maximum occupancy planning, but instead on understanding and valuing preference, experience, and connection to inspire people as they come back together. In the past, organizations measured employee satisfaction. Today, the top firms measure things like happiness, which only a few years ago might have just been considered immeasurable. But creating a functional work environment that allows employees to do their job, to attract, retain, and inspire the best performance from top talent organizations need to invest in engaging and energizing its employees, as well as helping them sustain productive and happy employment. By investing in your environment and creating programs that support the well-being of your people, you can lay the groundwork for a more productive, greater innovation and give you that competitive edge. At Gensler, we developed the Work Well program based on our research to measure and plan new strategies for the 8 components of well-being. Each of these Work Well dimensions are designed to enhance emotional, physical, and mental well-being in the workplace. A couple of examples with getting physical. Workplaces that really encourage increased physical activity, encourage better nutrition, and which therefore improves the health of their employees. Enriching relationships. Companies that really develop programs and design spaces to connect people to the larger workplace community and the communities where they sit. This helps their employees thrive both personally and professionally, resulting in improved business performance. Just before we wrap up this session today, I just want to give a couple of examples about how we have helped our clients in some of these more recent projects and since the post-pandemic world is now emerging. Firstly, our recently completed project with email for their new HQ. So this social environment provides connection and a choice of setting with support of technology. At the heart of the new HQ is the cafe. The cafe sets this welcoming atmosphere and vibrant ambiance, reflecting email's brand and culture. It is both a retreat for individuals and a place to engage with wider groups. This is a place where employees feel part of their group and committed to a larger purpose, and where they can share this with their partners, clients, and consultants. The reception space is no longer a traditional desk and a waiting area. It takes on a new flavor of a concierge type impression. It's more boutique rather than corporate, but is incredibly technology adaptive. Flexibility and focus on human-centric design with personalized workspaces and a choice of quiet private zones or informal relaxation areas are key to the success of this project. And the benefits of the well-designed space create better well-being and productivity for its users. Natural light, the integration of nature, views, and then of course the air quality and lighting are essential. Spaces that are designed to give employees more options and control over the use of their space, as per their need, creates a sense of community and grows the culture. It also gives them a sense of belonging. The next project was a client we started working with in 2019 for their new built-to-suit regional HQ here in Dubai. So the project's around about 5 stories and 75,000 square foot in space. As we were starting on site, the pandemic hit. We went back and revisited the customized brief that we had created with our clients and the potential ways of working to see what change there may be. We communicated and acted quickly, and we were asked by the leadership how we saw the future workspace. It was still fairly early days, but we were still conducting work from home surveys with our own Gensler team and some of our clients. We quickly revisited that strategic brief and consulted with the global business leaders. Simply put, the brief we had created was almost post-pandemic ready. And we discovered these findings we'd already considered before COVID the recommendations remained the same. But the main difference was that they were just elevated. There was now more of a focus on purpose of the office. In unprecedented circumstances, we found that the offices were still very much a place of collaboration, user and client experience, training, and mentorship. So from planning through to design to delivery, we worked together with this client in these unusual times to demonstrate what is really possible through the power of adaptive, technology-based, and knowledge-informed design of this client. And last, but of course, my favorite story is none other than our own Gensler Middle East offices. When our world was turned inside out by this disruptor, our co-CEOs, Andy and Diane, said, we are made for this as a firm. This is our one firm philosophy. And, we remain connected, we remain committed and creative throughout these toughest of times. But literally overnight, our entire studio, as our entire firm, moved from working from the office to working at home. At this exact moment, we had just started to build our new space in Dubai. This disruptor has had its challenges, but it gave us the opportunity to implement what we have heard and what we are suggesting and what the tools I've spoken about today. Our community is now a real working case study on how the future of work might look. And we had a lot of fun doing it. Like the future of the office, it was a collaborative process. I'm really proud of the way our team and their ability to adapt and I'm humbled by their attitude, drive, ambition, even in those challenging times. This is a story about our studio, yes, but more than that, this is a story about our people, how they rise, research, and reinvent. And we are living the future of a connected workplace. As we rethink the future of office space, we must realize that most issues facing today's workplace weren't created but exacerbated by COVID-19. We now value space and the experience of being together more than ever. The office matters because it's a place to come together with each other for a common purpose. And for employees, choice, privacy, health and well-being are top of their mind. The workplace is the glue that binds the teams together. No matter where they are or how they choose to work, the future workplace must be built on an ecosystem that brings people, place, and technology together. The office is no longer a container for people, but a physical and digitally enabled ecosystem that equips people with tools and support they need to thrive, while amplifying flexibility, giving them the choice and the work-life balance, and of course, equity. This is a workplace with heart, listening at the edges, leading with compassion, and empowering people to innovate, create, and stay connected wherever they are. This is just the start of the conversation, and I really look forward to continuing this conversation with you all. I know there's going to be a few questions coming forward. I look forward to that great discussion. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about the research, please go onto our website, gensler.com, where you can look at some of our latest research tools. And finally, a huge thank you for listening today. This has been an incredible, enjoyable opportunity. And I also want to thank the Big Five team for their unwavering efforts to keep our industry connected and informed. It would be great to get connected as we create the future of workspaces together. Thank you. I would certainly welcome your questions now, and I will hand it over to our hosts and open to you the floor.
Thank you so much for your insightful presentation, Tim. Hello, attendees. This is Tass from the Big Five team. We have some interesting questions which have come in from the audience for you, Tim. How are other design sectors influencing the future of workplace design?
Hi, Taz. Thank you for inviting me today. How are the design sectors influencing the future of workplace? I think, before the pandemic, we were starting to really blur the boundaries of design in different sectors anyway. I think what has become more prevalent since the pandemic and during the pandemic is hospitality taking a much larger focus across varying sectors, from office spaces to retail and to healthcare. So I'm really seeing this sort of blurring of boundaries between all of these different sectors. I think, with aviation as well, there's a real, when we're allowed to travel, a real new excitement about travel. The aviation industry itself is now being really pushed to reignite that magic of travel. Obviously safely and securely. But what they've really had to do also is to adapt to the evolving personas of various people, of various travelers who are now really seeing, the airport potentially as an extension of their own office. And I think, finally on this piece, I think wellness is now, of course, the fastest growing sector. It really is, at the forefront of everything we do. We all need this respite from mental and visual busyness, and all sectors are really focusing so much on how we measure that, how that affects productivity, how that affects people's wellness. So I would say that wellness is probably the biggest sector we need to watch moving forward.
Thank you, Tim. Moving on, not all professions allow for employees to work remotely exclusively. How does the workplace design remain inclusive to these positions?
I think, it was discussed a little bit during the presentation, but I think this is really about giving everyone the opportunity to easily remain connected, be that through easy technology, be that through inclusive use of different types of room. And it's about really giving people the choice and to enable them to work where they actually work the best and at varying times. So it's a real shift from the old 9 to 5 culture that we used to have. So, it's not just about design anymore and creating necessarily an attractive office. It's about this change in policies, it's change in HR function. Obviously, the management need to get very engaged in that too. So, I think as we said in the presentation, this is really about, the new corner office. It's not just about the same spaces we used to have. And the new workplace is going to be everywhere, from the malls to the offices. But it's going to be so important in retaining talent, talent retention, getting new talent into the office. And I really feel, and we certainly feel at Gensler, that the purpose of the office moving forward is going to be even more important. We've got to look at all these different types of personas, really look at the workforce, how the workforce is changing through the different generations. And it's going to be even more important now. It's going to be really serving as this community hub moving forward.
Thanks, Tim. This is a question from Rashid. Have these ideas that you mentioned been implemented anywhere? What do you think is the feedback? Do you think we need a few years to validate the hypothesis?
Yeah, look, we've been working and testing. Again, some of these are not necessarily new ideas. They're just new ideas that become more at the forefront of what we're designing these days. So yeah, we've certainly been doing lots of testing, and the Gensler Research Institute particularly, as an example, in our New York office, we've actually been using it within our own spaces, testing about how these different spaces might work. It's always going to be an evolving process, and we certainly don't have all of the answers now. And technology is going to be a real differentiator in that. We just don't know. At the moment we have hologens and holograms, and how that's going to move forward. So yes, we're starting to implement it. I think going back to the hospitality piece and the wellness piece, a lot of the spaces we're creating now really incorporate those as a matter of fact, not just as an addition. It's going to take a few years for us to really see this, and again, it's a real opportunity for that change we made. And the great thing is, it's not just about changing locally. It's a real opportunity to change globally, and everyone kind of understands that common theme and the direction that we're going to take moving forward.
Thanks for that, Tim. I have a last question from Belarus. How do you think remote working tendencies all over the world can help companies from developing countries start working in the global design market?
It's a really interesting one. I think, again, through this whole process, we've, again, particularly in Gensler, we went from being in the office to working remotely overnight. And, technology has been a real key to that success. But we've also really found that this has given the opportunity to explore different ideas, get different collaborators in, because you're not as limited by space as we used to be. We can have conference calls now with say, our clients, and get decision makers in the room that we couldn't necessarily get in the room because of time constraints. And we've certainly been partnering. We're around about 50 offices throughout the globe, and we've been partnering with a lot of smaller firms that are looking to some of the bigger projects. Looking at the Saudi market particularly, there's a lot of mega projects over there at the moment. So I think there's a real opportunity for partnerships. The process as it's panning out. To give an example of getting renderings approved is a much easier process, because we can do it live rather than having this commute time to a meeting, people that can't make it. So look, I really think that there's a great opportunity. I think there's a real, again, this global shift that will continue to happen. It's certainly not finished yet. So there's going to be great opportunities for all, and I think it's going to be about us as an industry, partnering, looking at the best and creating the best moving forward.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you to all our attendees. We look forward to seeing you at the Big Five live in person at the Dubai World Trade Center in September. Thanks for your time, Tim. This has been a wonderful presentation. Goodbye.